Despite some earlier concern, Kia just released pricing for the 2026 EV6 in the United States. That's right, the EV6 is still going to be on sale in the US for the 2026 model year, despite really poor sales in the 2025 model year. Some of you might know Kia killed the EV6 in Canada for 2026. It's been replaced by the EV5 in Canada, and now there's some speculation that the EV5 may also be coming to the United States, but we'll get to that later. First, let's start with 2026 EV6 pricing because there's a big price drop to keep it more competitive. So across the EV6 lineup, prices are cut by, at the minimum, $5,000. So we'll start with the light rear-wheel drive standard range. That is now starting at $37,900 versus $42,900 for 2025. The light rear-wheel drive long range now starts at $41,200. The light all-wheel drive starts at $45,200. The wind rear-wheel drive starts at $44,800. Wind all-wheel drive, $48,800 versus $54,300. GT Line rear-wheel drive, $48,700 versus $54,200. And at the top of the line, GT Line all-wheel drive, $53,000 versus $58,900 in 2025. The GT, the spicy, really fast performance version of the EV6, is canceled in the US, so that's not going to be available in 2026. But good to see that Kia is dropping prices, albeit they're not dropping them as significantly as Hyundai did. So I think on paper, this is still a tough sell versus the Ioniq 5. The base standard range rear-wheel drive, Ioniq 5 comes in at $35,000, EV6 $37,900, so almost a $3,000 difference. That's pretty significant. The light rear-wheel drive with the bigger battery compared to the Ioniq 5 SE is $3,700 more for the Kia. SEL all-wheel drive, significantly more expensive for the Kia Wind trim, $5,500 more so. That's a huge difference. And then the top trim, all-wheel drive, limited versus GT line, the Kia is $4,000 more expensive. So yeah, just still really not on the same playing field as the Ioniq 5. Anecdotally, everything I hear from you guys is that Kia's lease prices are almost always way worse than Hyundai's. So that makes it even harder to say the EV6 is going to be a better buy versus the Ioniq 5, but people are going to buy cars based on what they like, and if they prefer the EV6 styling, they might be willing to pay a little bit more. So that's the pricing differences. What is actually new for the 2026 model year with the EV6? So a few things. The base model with the small battery pack is no longer being called the standard range. It's now being called the short range, which in my opinion makes more sense because they always called the bigger batteries the long range versions. So long versus short instead of standard versus long. Just seems to make more sense to me. The EV6 will now come with a 120, 240 volt charger with the car. So you don't have to go out and buy a charger. If this is your first EV, it's going to come with one. And if you live in a ZEV state, a zero emissions vehicle state, EV6 is now going to come with a DC fast charging adapter, CCS to NACS, because the car does now have a NACS port. This is the same thing they've been doing with the EV9 too. I was very confused at first. I was like, some owners are getting them, some aren't. Turns out it was the ZEV states that were getting them. Kia is also eliminating the tech package for the light long range model to, they say, reduce complexity and streamline the offerings. So you're still going to get highway drive assist 2, but you are losing surround view monitor, blind spot view monitor, parking distance warning side, parking collision avoidance reverse, auto evasive steering assist, lane change oncoming, and forward collision avoidance with junction crossings. They're making some changes to the color offerings, so ivory silver on the exterior and hunter green misty gray two-tone interior is axed. That's no longer available. They're adding some new color schemes, so wolf gray exterior with saturn black, mild toffee brown two-tone interior, and glacial white pearl exterior with satin black / mild toffee brown two-tone interior is being added. In the middle of the model year, I guess they're not ready yet, 2 new colors for the GT line will include Glacier White Pearl two-tone with black roof and Wolf Gray two-tone with black roof. So that's basically all the changes for 2026 EV6, a very light year for changes. Let me know down in the comment section if you're going to be picking up a 2026 EV6, but let's talk about my mention of the Kia EV5 earlier. So Kindle Media posted a spy shot of what appears to be a Kia EV5 US spec testing down in Southern California near their headquarters. And the reason they can say that it is a US spec is because the orange marker on the front wheel arch, that is a US spec requirement. So that's not something you're going to see in other markets or other countries, especially those around here. So this is a fairly good clue that Kia is at least thinking about bringing the EV5 to the US, which I think is the best thing they can do. The EV6 is not selling well. It's not the traditional small crossover shape that most buyers in this category are looking for. Look at the amount of excitement for the Rivian R2, 2 boxes smushed together. That's basically what the EV5 looks like. So even though it's not the fastest charging car, it's going to do 1080% in about 30 minutes. A lot of buyers are willing to look past that for a car that has the styling that they are looking for. That would be very competitive with the Rivian R2. EV5 has supposedly been selling pretty well around the world, so I really hope Kia will make the decision to bring it to the US. If they can get the EV5 here along with the EV3 later this year, that's going to put them in a really solid position, especially now with gas prices the way they're heading. It just seems like a no-brainer that they should start offering some of these other options here in the US besides EV9, besides EV6. So that's going to do it for this video on the EV6. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Check out my store at ioniqguy.com for all sorts of accessories for your Kia EV6, including the automatic door locker, which in EV6 is simple as cake to install. Pop a panel, plug it in, and you've got automatically locking doors. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.